Hey y'all, this is Tim here, Newbie Mittleider gardener. It's Memorial Weekend, Sunday, North Georgia. We're out here back on the farm, and I'm going to turn around in just a second, and I think you'll be pretty surprised at all the progress since my first video here. There's a lot going on out there.
This greenhouse was built in November, December, and this is where all the germination process went on, all the seeds that went out in the field. And we started probably late February to mid-March for most of them, because I didn't want things to be too big before they go out to the grow beds. Our average day of last frost in North Georgia 21st, and so we just followed the Mittleider book exactly by the day that it said to put certain things out. So we'll just take a look at what's growing right now. We're 5 weeks past the average day of last frost, so all this is 5 weeks. They were little tiny guys coming out of the greenhouse, all these tomatoes. This first bed has onions, then there's turnip greens and spinach, and some okra there. We've planted a lot more okra. In these in the ground grow beds, we have a whole 30-foot row of cucumbers.
Looks like every bed has the watering system too.
On this part, I'm still not through down here. But a lot of beets, a lot of carrots coming up, and then beans, pole beans, and then up that way. We'll get up that way. A lot of sweet potatoes and eggplants and corn and so forth. Here's our main thing that we're planning to sell, the big boy and super beefsteak, Roma tomatoes, Rucker tomatoes. In these 9 beds, there's 150 tomato plants per bed. We've lost probably maybe a dozen that just didn't want to play ball. But I have the piping to most of these beds, and but we're at a stage now where we're having to prune them to one vine and get the twine, get them going up. And you can see how the twine goes. The outer tomato plants go out towards the outwire, and the inside rows go straight up, and that just opens the tomato plants up to more sunlight and air and everything else. So the watering system just goes on, and it doesn't get the plants wet, the leaves wet. It just waters the roots. There's 90 holes that you put one hole, the number 57 drill bit, little tiny holes, one straight down and then one at 45 degrees every 4 inches. Every 10 foot has 90 holes. So in a 30-foot line, just this line has 270 holes. And I have a lot of holes to drill still, but I've drilled a lot.
A lot of tedious
and a lot
work.
of twining to do. I'm whining and twining. Thing is, once you do all this, the infrastructure's all there for next year.
Exactly.
You don't have to do anything other than germinate and plant, even using the same soil. And so it's great once the work is done.
Yeah.
All the tomatoes coming on all these little guys.
And these are only 5 weeks.
5 weeks since came out of the trays.
Lots of clusters.
Came out of the trays, and they've just shot up. We feed them every Monday, their weekly feed.
And we're trimming these down to one vine, taking off all the suckers according to the that's covered in the Mittleider gardening course as well.
Right, and making sure that the leaves don't touch the ground. And
so that one just came off.
That way.
Look at that big cluster right there.
Right. That one was a little dark on the bottom, wasn't he? For some reason.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I don't know why, but we're trying to figure.
Look that up.
Yeah, it could be because I just got him up in the air today. That it's been laying down for a couple days on the ground. Yeah. But usually nothing laying on the sawdust doesn't hurt anything. So I'm only trying to hear. You
Oh,
can
okay.
see
I was
how
about to
thick.
say that guy looks like he needs to come
Oh
up.
man, see, because he's got to get pruned. All these other beds, same way. And he's just been growing in there so fast, he got ahead of me. And I'm about 2 weeks behind. But you
So-
see what a sucker would look like
Is it the one coming
as
out
they,
of
as
the
they,
crotch there?
as this one comes up.
Oops.
As this one comes up, this one in the middle coming right
Oh,
out
okay.
is a sucker. He's trying to start a whole new tomato plant.
Okay.
And so that's, you want to pull all
That's a
those
sucker
out.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
As you go up. And now you can root
Replant.
these things, but we're not having much luck. We've tried, but we have enough tomatoes.
Okay.
We just want all the energy to go into one vine.
Making fruit.
The yield will be higher, producing fruit.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And it's easier to control the whole deal with so that's tomatoes. And everything's labeled. These are record tomatoes. They were planted in the seed trays in the greenhouse on March 15th. And they came out here the end of April, April 21st. And then they've gotten that big. Really, they were about 3 inches, 2 inches high
Yeah.
in April 21st. So basically in 5 weeks they've done this.
Wow.
That's why I'm rushing. See, look at this, these tomatoes.
Oh yeah.
He needs to get
Doesn't
picked up.
Off the ground, huh?
Well, they're not hurting anything right yet, I don't think, but I can't let them. So the next couple days, that's all I'm doing.
It's
Getting
20.
these all up.
Okay.
Show them the peppers. Oh, let's see. Oh, these are interesting ones. If they've never seen,
Which ones are these?
these are called baby sweetie tomatoes.
Baby sweeties.
Yeah, something like that.
Sweet babies.
Sweet baby.
Are they on the sticker over here?
It's
No,
just
that's a
this-
different
we
row over
only
here.
have one. But see, like this plant here, I'm not going to do anything with him. He's just a goner.
Okay.
It's not worth. And these are called Brandywine. I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Brandywine.
Brandy
Reds.
wine red. All right.
So. And it's funny, those. Well, most of these are records, and you don't see tomatoes on them yet. But records are very popular, and we planted these later, so they'll be coming on at different stages.
Okay.
Look at the size of those guys. We're at, this is Memorial Day,
Yeah.
so we're very pleased. You know, you can go to anybody's garden around this area, and I just have to hand it to Mittleider, because you follow their system, do what they say to do, and you'll get the results. Now, fighting the bugs, which we have started, that's a matter of experience, because I've seen bugs and don't know if they're good or bad, you know. So it's like, but we've got organic. We've used the Ultradon, the sprays, and so forth, and we just have to get on a good maintenance program to keep them away, rather than let an infestation happen, because you just, you know, that's harder to deal with. But little jalapeno plants. See the jalapenos?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Very good one.
Look at that big boy.
Yeah, look at this guy.
He's almost as big as the plant.
Uh-huh.
And these all came out of the
greenhouse.
These are bought from a store-bought.
Okay, these are store-bought.
Uh-huh. The local lady that
Like
sells
a little
them.
farmer
Yeah.
type market. Okay.
Yeah. So these beds are full. We probably got 700 pepper plants
Okay.
here. That's a lot of watermelon in that last
Okay.
in
And
the
that's
ground
just a grow bed there, or
Yeah.
a soil bed.
soil bed. But you can see in the aisles the weeds, and in the grow beds, even in the ground grow beds,
How are you doing there?
so
Mm-hmm.
they don't grow in there. And if you do find an occasional weed, they're very easy to pull out. That's the magic of the sawdust and sand.
Oh,
Out of the rows, I
raking.
weeded it a little bit and then mowed.
Okay.
And but the sawdust and sand, you can see how it looks real dry here.
Mm-hmm.
This hasn't been watered in 2 days, but you go down about an inch, and now you're getting into real moist soil. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So the sawdust and sand, it'll get watered again in the morning, or even this evening. But I like to water in the morning because it gives all day.
Now you said this hadn't been watered in 2 days, but you got plants in there?
Oh yeah, right.
Is
This
it?
hadn't been watered because it's got plenty of moisture in there.
Okay.
And we were actually watering too much because I was used to just dirt
Yeah.
and thinking, well, it's my obligation to water. But then we're starting to get algae problems.
So you found out you was watering too much, creating your own problems.
Exactly. And because the sawdust is a whole different animal. It holds the moisture. And we have blueberries down there. Little row of blueberries. We have another orchard over there with blueberries. Come up this way, I'll show you the
Orchard is on the...
The other side of the property there.
I hate these videos where they show you stuff that hadn't grown.
Yeah.
But I can show you tomatoes. They're growing. And we're getting ready to put the trellises in. These are grapevines.
Grapevines. Now, were these big box store bought or locally bought?
They're bought at Tractor Supply.
Okay.
So that the what do they call them?
Vineyard.
The posts with the wires going
Right.
down. Trellises, I guess.
Trellis.
they call it.
We're new. We don't know the
Terminology.
So there's one row of grapevines, another row of grapevines, another row of muscadimes, and then there'll be another row of muscadimes right down here.
Mm-hmm.
In the ground grow bed that doesn't have sawdust yet because
Yeah.
I don't have the time, but it's set up for water.
Okay.
And I'm going to run a longer pipe down this way because I've learned how to, actually in the regular 30-foot line, I go to a 16th inch drill, and it feeds the end of the line more evenly than staying with that number 57.
So at the end, you're increasing the size of the hole?
Yeah, on the last 2 feet.
Okay.
On a 30-foot line. So on this one, I'll just have to experiment.
Okay.
I'll get it all hooked up, and then if I have to go to a bigger hole, it may be the size of my finger by the time we get down here. I don't know. No,
Yeah.
Probably 16th inch. They run pretty good, but for the first 30 feet or 28 feet, it'll be a 57, number 57, which is smaller than a 16th inch.
Right.
Really tiny holes. But it actually puts the water, in 1 minute, you'll do more watering than you can by hose.
Yeah.
It just puts it right down until it's running out the bottom of the grow bed really fast. So these will get filled, and what we're going to put in here, I don't know, but there'll be more okra and stuff like this. This is eggplant, a few store-bought eggplant. The aphids got them. We learned how to deal with them. You see the holes in some of the leaves.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no aphids now, but they'll recover. I'm not worried about them. But we didn't, it's like overnight.
Yeah.
They just show up. And some of these leaves that were just eaten up are still doing their thing. This is rhubarb and sweet basil. This is a lot of, and garlic. And my wife planted wildflowers all the way down the edge. Attract the bees. And that's radishes and whole lines of carrots. And I don't know what's all, okra
Okay.
and cantaloupe.
All okra
starting
and
to come
cantaloupe.
up. You can
Okay.
see starting, they're just starting. These
Oh,
were
okay, there
planted
you go.
last week.
All right, good
Yeah.
deal.
Yep. So the water's all here. Just got to get around to
Putting in the piping.
putting the pipes in. Corn. The first couple rows up there, actually this row, those first two up there, we grew in the greenhouse. Not going to do that anymore.
No.
All in Dixie cups. And then transplanted. The corn did not like being transplanted. And actually, the corn we planted in the ground is going to catch up, I think, to this other. But they look good, but they're tasseling very early. But some of the information we've got is don't worry about it. You'll still get good corn out of them.
Okay.
We probably got, it's hard to tell, a couple hundred years of corn. corn stalks here.
Okay.
Come down this way.
All right.